So let's talk about my secret reading challenge. So the point of BookTube Spirit Week was to make videos, but I thought I would up that a little bit and make things really, really hard for myself and try to read some books during the week. I actually started and finished 2 books during the course of BookTube Spirit Week, but I finished one that I had started back in December too. So in total I read 3 books, even though one of them only counts as like a half. Y'all just gonna have to excuse any weird noises or bumps that happen in this room. The cats have found their catnip mice and it's just chaos here. So since I only read 3 books, I can only talk about 3 books, I thought I'd also recommend 3 books that are in this category that I read, and the category was red, black, or white books, because that is the color apparently that we did for BookTube Spirit Week, even though, I mean, I might be biased, but purple and gold are pretty good school colors, and so are navy and light blue. But anyway, so the first book I read this week, or rather finished this week, was Carols and Chaos, which is like a December themed kind of PG romance based in like Victorian London. Not London, it's like in a village. Anyway, it was cute. I thought the romance was adorable, but it wasn't really what hit the spot, I think. And that's not its fault. But apparently it's like a continuation of another book that's about like the rich people in this one. This is about the servants. It's about a not a footman. What is he? A valet and like a lady's maid, or but it's cute. There's a mystery. Somebody goes missing, and there's like fake coins, and it's snowy and Christmassy. The vibe is really nice, and it's a cute little, I don't want to say like there's no weight to the mystery, but nobody's going to die and nothing bad's going to happen, but you still kind of feel for these characters when stuff does happen. Anyway, it was really cute. You should read it if you like light, fluffy period romances that are more readable than actual period romances. The next book I read was just a genre flip. It was Sadie. And this one is written so cool. Like, I just could not get over it. Like, it's written like a podcast about this man trying to find this missing girl, but then it's also told from the missing girl Sadie's point of view, because she's tracking down the killer of her little sister. So you're getting to the conclusion before the podcaster is, but he's bringing you new information too. There was a point in here where he said something and revealed it, and I like dropped my jaw. Like, I could not believe it. And it doesn't really have a wrapped up nice ending. You don't actually know what happens to some of the characters, but it's still really good. It still felt full. Like, I still felt like I got an ending out of it, even though it maybe wasn't the ending that I went into wanting. But this would be a really good book to read, especially if you're into that kind of podcast format. It's the first time I've ever experienced it, but I'm definitely going to look up other books that utilize that. The last book I read for this week, and the reason that this video didn't go out yesterday on the actual last day of BookTube Spirit Week and instead came out today, is because I spent the last like hour of yesterday finishing A Darker Shade of Magic. And I loved this book. And I'm on a book buying ban for January, so I can't even buy the sequel and try to read it. And it's frustrating to me, because this was so good. It was a really interesting and compelling world building, and the magic system was unique. I thought the characters were really fun. I think V. Schwab has a tendency in this book to introduce characters and then kill them a chapter later. Far be it for me to judge. But that was a little bit frustrating. I was like, well, that could have been an interesting person, but I'll never know now because you've offed them. But it's a brick of a book. But it flew pretty fast. Like, I finished it in 2 days. I really wish I could have done it and finished it before I did yesterday and go ahead and got this video out, but beggars can't be choosers. But that was a really good book, and I like V. Schwab. I've read Vicious, and I really like that. It still has that vibe to it. Her characters are always really they've got a life to them, and I think that this had it in there, along with that magic system and a really accessible fantasy. So I'm interested to pick up the rest of the series. All right, red, black, and white recommendations. Here we go. Rosemary's Baby. Do you like thrillers? Do you like supernatural or horror elements? Then you may like this book. It is actually terrible because this poor woman is gaslit for the whole novel, but you know what's going on. She doesn't know what's going on, and it's like a slow, meandering walk to the horrific conclusion, and then it's still a twist. If you've ever watched the movie, you should read the book. It is very, very good, and if you've read the book, you should watch the movie. The movie is also very, very good. I shouldn't have to say a lot about this next one. Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman is classic. It's hilarious. It's got some heart to it. The characters are fun. You should read Good Omens. The last one is going to be If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This one is like The Secret History if there was Shakespeare, and it was a little bit more accessible to younger readers. I'm a sucker for sprayed edges. This book, you think you know what happened, and then you keep reading, and then you don't, and then you think you do again, and then you don't, and then it gets to the last page, and you still fucking don't. So this is a very, very good kind of like thriller, dark academia book. And again, it's a lot more accessible, I think, than The Secret History for some people, because that one, it's almost on the verge of being like classical literature, the way it's written, and it's not very concluding. This one feels like you care about what happened, you care about the repercussions of it. In The Secret History, you really don't, because this one is told from the point of view of the guy that got arrested for murder, and he's going to tell you exactly why he got arrested for that murder 10 years ago, and it's just so good. So that's what I read, and those are 3 recommendations. This has been really fun. I've enjoyed putting out content for a whole week because that will probably not happen again for the next few months since I'm starting school. So this was a nice little practice at a content burst. And I don't know, maybe during spring break I'll do something fun. But anyway, this has been Spirit Day for BookTube Spirit Week.